Hi, I'm Monika, and you're watching Dog-Eared Musings. And today I actually did my homework. And a couple of weeks ago, my sister and I reviewed the covers of Rachel Yoder's novel Nightb and Elaine Hsieh Chou's novel Disorientation. Based on cover design, my sister, a graphic designer, believed that both books would have a similar tone, and she wanted me to assess the similarities.
I want you to read Disorientation and Nightb and tell me your assessment of the two characters.
So over the past couple of weeks, I got stuck in both of these stories and was able to come up with my own evaluation, and decided to do a bit of a lookbook of past and present looks of Monika. Believe me, it'll make sense as we get through the video. Ultimately, both books had me thinking, am I human or am I... Anyway, in all seriousness, both books reflect on themes of identity and social roles, expectations, and the acceptance or unacceptance of certain feelings when looking through the lens of gender, family roles, or race. While Yoder and Chou's books both reflect on their own unique themes, the role of motherhood, loss of individuality, death of artistic passion, the threat of colonialism, and systemic racism in academia, yada 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 yada. What struck me as a through line between the two texts was the prominent idea of identity. Both authors use identity as a tool when our main characters learn to harness and interchange the roles they play, which consequently tests the boundaries of their daily life in their journey to find true self-fulfillment, which is a lot less cheesy and more surreal and feral than I've described. So what were these books about? Nightb follows an unnamed main character called Mother as she grapples with postpartumhood. Mother finds herself struggling with her role as a washed-up artist and nonprofit director, trying to transition into the perfect stay-at-home mom. However, this change is especially difficult when she finds her body changing, possibly into a werewolf. Disorientation follows Ingrid, a Chinese-American postgraduate student who's completely burnt out over writing a dissertation she has zero interest in, but all the social obligations to complete. Sick of fighting the daily onslaught of microaggressions within her department, and with her white fiancé quickly climbing up his own professional ladder due to cultural appropriation, Ingrid is disinterested and finds herself spiraling. Procrastinating her defense, Ingrid finds herself embroiled deep in her college's most nefarious scandal. Ingrid must come to terms with the impacts of race and her predominantly white institution and social circles in order to move forward either in her career or as herself. Both books employ dark satire to the point of wacky, surreal, fever-like atmosphere, especially when focusing on feelings and who's not able to have them, whether that is thinking about gender and or race, and the implications of how society views anger, rage, and speculation in correspondence to motherhood and students of color in a predominantly white institution. Reading these books had me thinking to myself, what roles do I agree to play in my day-to-day life? Young professional, responsible older daughter, judgmental friend, quirky YouTuber? These are all the berets I interchange. When I was in college, I used to name my outfits, almost like I was making up a character for myself each day. Similarly to main characters in both of these novels, I think a large part was because I did not feel comfortable with people noticing the person I was beyond the look. I want you to know that I spelled look here L-E-W-K for posterity. I was scared of people noticing my acne-prone skin, my awkward laugh, my skepticism, and anxious nature, afraid that my true self would not be good enough. During the panini, when I found myself often alone and only having to dress for myself, my style changed. I gravitated less towards the clothes and behaviors that made me feel like I was playing a prescribed part, and more like I was me. And yeah, I know that's cheesy, but reading these books had me reflect on this journey of growing up and self-realization, especially when I think about my own identities and how they intersect. Why I was drawn to both novels, both Yoder and Chou challenged the idea of appropriate feelings, again through the lens of gender and race, and how society continually obstructs. through the subversion of roles. The reader goes on a page-gripping journey with each main character as Mother and Ingrid meet their own unique identity-based obstacles to not only feel the feelings that they are deemed not acceptable, but on bringing others along in validation in those feelings to their full extent in order to be their full selves. Our main characters are left not as characters, but as fully whole.